Hi everybody, it's Nick. Don't worry, this isn't one of those vlogs that's going to make you feel somewhat inadequate or a failure, because I'm about to sit here and reel off a long list of achievements. Actually quite the opposite. Yes, I am going to talk about the menopause today. As you can probably see by looking at me, I'm not having the greatest menopause day. So it's actually 6 in the evening, that's PM. No, I haven't managed to get dressed. No, haven't even managed to get showered. The washing is still in the washing machine from earlier today. Have managed to do a little bit of work, not enormous amounts. Have managed to feed the kids. And I have spent 3 hours in bed this afternoon having a nap because I am so exhausted. I can't actually keep my eyes open. And you may say, what's the point of this vlog? Well, I think there's several points. The first is that one of the things I'd been doing, because over the past few months actually, I haven't been very well, not to do with the menopause, it's to do with a few other things, but it's meant that I've been taking lots of painkillers, including nerve blockers and stuff, while, yeah, honestly, if I started going through the list, it's a bit of a comedy of errors really, which includes a ruptured tendon and a root canal filling that went wrong and all kinds of things that you couldn't write, if I'm honest. The upshot to it was I was taking a lot of medication for several weeks, a few months actually, over the summer and into September until we got these things resolved. And one of the things that all that did was it made me not very well at all, because it was like I was getting a bit toxic really with all the stuff I was taking. So I thought that I would just rein things back and just try and get some more balance and not be quite so full of painkillers and so forth, because they solved the tooth and all the rest of it, so all that was fine. But one of the things I did was realise that I was taking a lot. The HRT patches for my oestrogen, which is really critical for me. It is the difference between whether I operate or not, were quite high. So I thought I would try a lower dose, and as it turns out, I've obviously gone too low. And that's the main thing, is that puppy behind me, yeah. This is the reality, right? There isn't some sparkly life here where I'm editing and making a perfect vlog. But basically, I don't know. Basically, I've gone too low on the estrogen. The reason I know that is because I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to do anything. My motivation it's just gone. My just move puppy out of the way. My engagement with stuff's gone. I'm really, really tired. And the only way I can describe it is I just cannot be arsed. It's a real disengagement. Now, I know that's the estrogen, because the estrogen fires the neurons, and actually a lot of that drives, you know, the motivation and the engagement with life. I also know that I'm not quite right, because I have no patience. I don't have loads of patience at the best of time, if I'm really honest, but right now I have absolutely zero. And I'm also bursting into tears for things that even I don't think I should be bursting into tears about. And I'm a great advocate of crying. You know, I like a good cry. It makes me feel really good to have a good cry and to let things flow. You know, I still cry at Love Actually, and I've watched it about 15 times. I think there's something incredibly healthy about it. But of the last few days, even I'm going, crikey, I don't even really know why I'm crying. And it's really interesting, because I think with the menopause, it's like there's two parallel universes. So I think now, you know, a few years in, I'm getting much better at going, actually, this is something that's just biologically not right. My estrogen's too low, and I have actually just had some bloods done. And yeah, it is too low. And I just somehow know that the way I feel with this disengagement and this exhaustion, which is, I don't care. I don't care that I haven't got dressed. I don't care that I haven't done the washing. I don't care that I haven't been to a class, you know, done more productive things with my time, because it's just like the switch has been switched off. And that's very different to sometimes the feelings I get, which is a lot of frustration and sadness, which is actually genuine frustration and sadness. But with the menopause, what I've found is that I don't have the same coping mechanisms or comfort blankets. So it amplifies things. So actually some of the things that we should get pissed off about, I think the menopause can actually really be quite healthy, because it allows us to get pissed off with, well, for me, it allows me to get pissed off with them, and it takes away this fear of being judged, or am I doing the right thing? There's a real liberation that comes with it, actually, because I'm just like, no, fuck it, that's not okay. And that can be really liberating, but that's very different to what I'm feeling at the minute, which is much more around, I don't even have enough energy to get cross or happy. I just don't have enough energy to get either. So it's not like there's some raw feeling or wound that needs addressing. There's just nothing in my tank. There's just nothing in my tank. That's the best way. It's just like I've run out of petrol. So I have today upped my estrogen level. There's a bit of a lag with estrogen, so I know that it will take. It can be my is it androcologist or criminologist? Oh, do you know what? I can't say it, but I think you probably know. It's my menopause consultant, basically. And because for those of you who don't know, the hormone system is part of our androcology or endocrinology system. I can never say it right. And it includes all kinds of things apart from estrogen. So it includes insulin, and it includes our thyroid and pituitary gland and cortisol and gosh, what else? You know, lots of other things as well, basically. So, menopausal moment where I'm struggling for words and I can't recall things quick enough. And you know what? I've completely lost my train of thought there. I mean, this is like menopause in action, isn't it? I've completely lost my train of thought. I've got no idea what I was talking about there. So I'm sorry, I'm going to leave that thread dangling because, that was it. I know what I was going to say. Sorry, apologies. Yeah, he's told me that there can be up to a 2-week delay in terms of your, you know, from when you up the estrogen to actually feeling the benefit of it. To be fair, I don't think mine does take that long. I think usually within a few days I notice the difference. So I'm really hoping that by next week I'll be rearing to go. But in the meanwhile, it's really clear to me that my estrogen's low. That for me has been backed up by the blood results, but I knew that anyway. But this feeling, this biological thing that's missing is very different to sometimes how I feel in the menopause, where although I feel quite raw and sad, there's a power to what I'm feeling. There's an energy to what I'm feeling, and I know that that is really where the menopause has stripped back my comfort blankets and it's just making me look at stuff. That energy and that power is not there at the minute. There's just nothing in the engine, so I need to get something in the engine, and hopefully that will enable me to be able to get through the day without a 3-hour nap, which isn't sustainable in the long term. It's all right for a short term. You know, this week, for example, I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't feeling great. So I said, right, you know, I need to step back and just have a bit of rest and so forth. But that's not sustainable in the long term. So I know, and I'm hoping that by next week I will be more on top of my game, and I will have more energy, and I'll be able to stay awake all day, and I'll actually be able to get into the shower, and I won't look quite like this. So to all of those women that may not look like this but may feel like this, or perhaps you also haven't made it into the shower today, you know what, it's okay. Yes, it's okay. And I think one of the really important things during the menopause is to just be honest with ourselves and to go with the flow rather than berating ourselves. And on top of feeling like this, then put an extra layer of self-judgment about being rubbish and not having done what we should have done. And we see, you know, God, bloody Davina McCall popped up again in my feed this morning with her, I mean, good for her, you know what, if she, with her tone body and all the rest of it. But honestly, I'm just sat looking at her thinking, you may as well tell me to go and swim the Atlantic. You know, that's about as achievable for me right now. Looking at what Davina McCall's telling me to do, it's just not a realistic aim for me. You're just setting me up to fail. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's okay. You don't have to jump off the sofa and be Davina McCall, hello, this is Mabel. This is Mabel, by the way. She's one of our 2 puppies. There's 5 dogs in this house, 2 of which are puppies. Yeah, that's still a bit of a pain in the arse, but that's so cute. I don't mind. Yeah, there are easier ways, right? Maybe we could just be kind to ourselves. Maybe we can just say, look, we're not quite right. Maybe we can just take some rest and not judge ourselves. I'll put a bit more oestrogen in and let's see how it goes. Lots of love to you all. Bye.